They were fast, unstoppable, like machines. Some witnesses swore they felt no pain, needed no rest, and fought with wild, unnatural fury. The secret? It wasn't just ideology or training. It was a pill, a tiny white tablet that turned men into monsters. This is the terrifying true story of the Nazi power drug that fueled the Blitzkrieg, and what happened when the pills wore off. In the early days of World War II, German forces shocked the world with their rapid and devastating military victories. Country after country fell within weeks, sometimes days. Many believed these soldiers were superhuman. But few knew that this superhuman edge came from something far more sinister than strength or strategy. This story doesn't begin on a battlefield. It starts in a Berlin laboratory in the 1930s. German scientists were on a mission, not just to develop new weapons, but to re-engineer the soldier himself. The name of the drug was Pervitin. Today, we'd recognize it by another name, methamphetamine. That's right. Nazi Germany's super soldiers were high on crystal meth. Pervitin was first developed by Temmler, a German pharmaceutical company, and was marketed as a kind of wonder drug, giving energy, boosting confidence, suppressing hunger and need for sleep. At first, it was just another over-the-counter stimulant. Housewives took it, students used it, even factory workers. But the military saw something else in it, the power to create the perfect war machine. By 1939, millions of tablets were being distributed to the Wehrmacht, the German army, especially to tank crews, pilots, and frontline infantry. With soldiers popping Pervitin like candy, the Nazi army stormed across Europe. Poland, France, Belgium, the Netherlands. Invasion after invasion, their enemies were overwhelmed. The soldiers could march for days without sleep. They didn't stop, they didn't eat, they barely blinked. A British report at the time described Nazi troops as almost inhuman. Civilians who saw them up close said their eyes were wild, their energy limitless, and their violence extreme. These weren't just men fighting a war. They were chemically altered beings on a high-speed collision course with destruction. But every high has a crash. Before we go further, if you enjoy this video, consider subscribing. We upload a lot of videos on the forgotten stories of World War II. Soon, side effects started showing. Soldiers became addicted. When the drug wore off, they collapsed, mentally and physically. Some hallucinated. Others became paranoid, aggressive, or suicidal. There are chilling reports of entire units going into psychotic episodes in the field. In one account, a soldier reportedly murdered his own comrades in a fit of drug-induced rage. In another, tank operators drove blindly into enemy fire, believing they were invincible. Even Adolf Hitler himself was reportedly injected with daily cocktails that included methamphetamine, among other substances, by his personal physician, Dr. Theodor Morell. By the final months of the war, Hitler was a shaking, irrational shadow of himself, likely a long-term drug casualty. When the war ended, Pervitin didn't disappear overnight. It continued to be used in various forms, even by Allied troops who had their own versions of stimulant pills. But the Nazi experiment with methamphetamine remains one of the darkest examples of drug use in warfare. It raises haunting questions. How much of history was shaped not by men, but by chemicals? And what happens when we turn soldiers into machines without mercy, fueled by a substance that erases fear and humanity? If you found this story as disturbing and fascinating as we did, consider subscribing to Phenodox for more dark history like this. We dive into forgotten corners of the past and pull the truth into the light. Pervitin didn't just fuel Nazi troops. It's part of a pattern in history where leaders turned to drugs to win wars. But what if I told you there is a story even more bizarre of a fake army that fooled Hitler himself? Click on the video on your screen now, because if you thought this story was wild, wait till you hear about the Ghost Army.